Okay, welcome everybody to the medical bill review and patient advocate informational webinar. And glad to see all of you here and thank you for coming. And so we're going to be discussing today what a medical bill review and patient advocate does, about the opportunity, and I think you'll really get some interesting information out of this today. So if you have not been associated with AAO-MCP, American Association of Medical Coding Professionals, before, I am the CEO. My name is Doug Palmer, the founder and the CEO. I've been in healthcare since 1990, so we're talking about 34 years. And I'm pretty proud of our A+ 5-star review ratings. Just to give a little bit of background about who we are, you're more than welcome to visit the Better Business Bureau and read through some of the reviews if that is something that is important to you. Certainly something that is near and dear to my heart. We really try to do some great things here. So let's get started talking about this medical bill reviewer and patient advocate concept. Your knowledge, skills, and experience can truly make you a guardian angel to millions. Okay, and the illustration here has this medical coder with the halo in the wings, and I think by the end of the session here today, you will probably feel that this is a pretty accurate illustration or notion. See the treasure chest and the concept of money. This is not necessarily about that's not supposed to mean that you're going to get rich, and although depending on what your term of rich is, you certainly should be able to do very well as a medical bill reviewer and patient advocate. However, throughout the next few minutes, you will certainly come to understand the importance of money in this pursuit. If you have medical billing experience, you're probably familiar with statement runs and billing, the billing process end to end, insurance billing, and then of course the billing of patients' balances. Okay. And the fact is, 80% of medical bills have some type of error. And that's truly not an understatement. And so what I'd like to do next is look at a case study, and I'm actually going to, this is actually a recording, so it takes about 3 minutes. So I'd like you to take a look at it. So, if you were following along there, the patient had a procedure that wasn't going to be covered. They paid for the procedure in advance. And then this was an eye procedure requiring an expensive pharmaceutical that there were, you saw that basically it was double billed on the bill. Okay. And then they increased they increased the OR charges 3 months later after the fact. They continued to bill this client for 2 years. And the client fought tooth and nail and tried everything and was just exasperated. And they contacted me on a Sunday. Monday was a holiday, so I couldn't contact the hospital until Tuesday. And by Wednesday, the bill was written off. Okay. And we had a happy client. Now, this is not, this is simply not unusual. It is just too common. Okay. And this is where, you know, you have to remember the typical patient doesn't speak medical billing, doesn't speak revenue cycle, doesn't speak ICD-10 or CPT or HCPCS codes. They don't understand the process. And so this is where your billing experience can turn you into that angel that I depicted earlier. Okay. And so this client was really, really happy. So happy that they wanted to share a token of appreciation. And I have an 8-year-old son, well, 7 at the time. And I'd like to share that token of appreciation with you because we have a special guest that I'm going to introduce in a moment. But let me share this this token of appreciation that this person did for my son. Now, the person in this video is not the patient, but the patient, it's the guarantor knew this person and did this.
William, what is up, dude? My name is Scott, and I have a super awesome, totally cool, rad gift for you because they have told me amazing things about you. They think you are one of the coolest people on the planet. You have a cool nickname, Monkey. That's cool. I wish someone called me Monkey. No one ever gives me a nickname. If I had a nickname, it would be Monkey. But you have it. It's taken. And you deserve it. It's awesome. I heard that you're 7 years old. I heard that your dad is like a superhero in real life. And I've just heard so many cool things about you. But you know what? The coolest thing I heard about you is that you love the show Paw Patrol. Is that true? Oh my gosh. And you love Blaze. He's awesome, right? Well, guess what? You know when you put on the show and you hear the song, Paw Patrol, that's my voice. I sing the Paw Patrol song. How cool is that? So I made a special William pew 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 remix for you. No one else in the world has this version. It's just yours. I hope you like it. I hope you dance around and sing along. Wait, speaking of sing along, I need some help. Guys. Whoa, it's the pups from Adventure Bay. They came all the way just to help me sing this with you, for you, and with you. I hope you're singing. All right, you ready, William? Are you ready? All right, here we go. Paw Patrol, will be there on the double whenever there's a problem around Adventure Bay. William and his team of pups will come and save the day. Marshall, Rubble, Chase, Rocky, Suma, Sky, yeah, they're on the way. Paw Patrol, whenever you're in trouble. Paw Patrol will be there on the double. No job's too big, no pups too small. Paw Patrol, we're on a roll. So here we go, Paw Patrol, oh, Paw Patrol, and William too, Paw Patrol. Yeah, hope you liked it, William.
So, I showed you that both to show the appreciation. You saw that bill was over $10,000. Okay. And you know, that was a token of appreciation, which I think, you know, it wasn't a thank you card. You know, it was something very special, you know. And so Interestingly enough, that client referred me to somebody else that they knew whose husband had a bill. Okay. And again, there's something about Sundays. I remember they contacted me on a Sunday, and by Tuesday, we had gotten a surgeon to agree to half the bill, a discount of half. Okay. And just this is a really weird world. That gentleman happened to have worked for somebody that you may have heard of. His name is Paul McCartney for 20 years. So then what happened? And I'm really trying to point out a couple different things. And one is word of mouth. Okay, and when you do a good job, that's how you get A+ ratings. That's how you get 5-star reviews, and that's how you get to meet our next case study. Okay, and I'd like to introduce to you a current client, and give me a moment because I'd like to do a introduction here. And my current client is a gentleman named Scott Cripane. Okay, and let's just scroll down here. He also is a songwriter, and as a matter of fact, he is one of the co-writers of that Paw Patrol theme, among other notable accomplishments. And Mr. Scott has been nominated and won Emmy Awards. So what I want to do is tell you a little bit about Scott's situation. And first, Scott, can you, I think I may have to unmute you, but Scott, can you say hello?
Unmute. Yeah, I'm here. I'll even
Wonderful.
throw on
So
the video. I don't know if anybody else has video on, but I'm throwing it on just because I look a little different than the sunglasses guy on the website.
yeah, you lost the beard. No, you lost the facial hair, right?
Oh, I only shave like once a week, so it's just less.
Well, yeah, whatever works. So I'm gonna tell them a little bit of the background story about you and your situation, and then I'm gonna ask you to say a few words about what your experience has been, and what you have gone through, and our work together to date. Um, so folks, Scott contacted me, and of course, Scott, this is again all word of mouth. One client and another client and another client, and some really great folks that I've just had the great fortune of being able to help and serve here. And Scott has a daughter who has had a behavioral health type diagnosis. And when I say that, it's not to be, that shouldn't be stigmatic or anything like that. It's just, it's a little different than something as straightforward as somebody with a laceration or a broken bone, stitch it, cast it, so sometimes some of the approval processes, the utilization review, those types of things are a little different. And so, Scott's family ended up in the same situation, facing if you thought that bill that we just looked at was significant, this is several times that. Am I right, Scott?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, the example that I showed you a few minutes ago, we got that done in 2 days. Unfortunately, Scott, it hasn't been quite that fast with this one, right? But we're working hard on it. We're working hard on it. And one of the things that Scott and I have had the discussion about several times, many times, is I've had the luxury of working with some clients who have the means, and Scott has said, I could pay this bill, but why would I if I don't have to, or I shouldn't have to. And so I really want you to think about when you are able to use your experience, your knowledge, and your skills for somebody who is, very middle class or maybe even lower middle class, the situation is not any different. It's not less painful, and it's probably more meaningful to those people who, Scott and I were talking about this morning. For some people, this could be financial baggage for the rest of their life, or it could financially ruin them. It really is very, very meaningful and important work that you can do, taking your knowledge, your experience, your skills, and using it in a really meaningful way to help people. So I'd like to just turn it over to Scott and ask Scott to talk a little bit about his experience thus far, because this is still an open file. We're not done with this one yet, but Scott does know another one of my clients who we just recently got their file closed. But Scott, take it away.
Well, thank you for having me. It's this, again, the healthcare system and insurance system, if you will, can be frustrating for somebody like me. It's like, I consider myself somewhat intelligent. I read contracts, and so I understand some legalese, but I still can get a statement from an insurance company or medical bill and go, I'm gonna trust that this is correct, which I'm learning now may not be the smartest thing to do, but it feels overwhelming. So the whole process is overwhelming. And in our case, our daughter is going through a difficult season in life, and she's in an inpatient facility, gets approved for that via insurance. And a couple weeks in, insurance says, hey, she's doing too well. We're gonna have to boot her out of this. So I understand they have their reasons, but we know enough about our daughter's story to know that inpatient for that season was the right thing for her. And turns out it really was. It greatly benefited her, and she's doing much better in this season too. So, but again, we were fortunate to have means enough to pay the bill for her to be able to stay where we believe she was supposed to be staying. But we're still frustrated by this whole thing of like, but you said you were going to approve it. And, again, I don't know the ins and outs or the whys, but I can tell you, just from a dad standpoint, for my daughter, who's in a vulnerable spot already because she's chosen to say, hey, I need to be in this place and do some work. And so she's in a vulnerable spot. And then to hear from insurance, she's the one that gets the call first, like, hey, you've got to be out of here. It's incredibly stressful for her when she's already in a vulnerable and stressed place. So even the way that it happened is a difficult thing. So there's a frustration about it. There's a vulnerability piece to all of it. As I mentioned before, there's the complexity of it and just the lack of understanding for a family like ours who's not in the medical field. I'm going to look at a bill and take someone at their word oftentimes. So, so to be introduced to someone like Doug, to a patient advocate, we're incredibly grateful. I mean, I think of if my friend and collaborator hadn't gone through what they'd gone through, I don't know that I would know that advocates exist. But because of their story, we were like, wait, we might have some help, because all I would know is to appeal and then appeal again. And the times that I've done that over smaller issues in the past, it's never been in our favor, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. And so in this case, we're like, we're gonna make the outright payment to keep our daughter, or to have her be able to stay, because she wanted to stay in this facility, and then try to fight it from the backside. And so when I think of, I'm so grateful that we met someone like Doug, and I know we're still in process, but I also go, irregardless of how our situation turns out, I still think he's a rock star, because of the work that he's done for friends of mine. And I know that every case is different, so I can't, look in a crystal ball and say, hey, ours is going to work out just the way we want it to. But for me to even have to feel heard is, I think, such a huge thing. To go, when I chat with Doug and chat about the problem, my wife and I feel heard in this process. We feel like we're seen and heard as people rather than just a chart in the case of my daughter, or a case number, or dollars maybe in the case of the way the insurance company is viewing it. So we feel like people. We feel like he hears us, feels our frustration, and we have somebody on our side who understands the healthcare system in ways that we simply don't. Without an advocate, we're at a loss for what to do. In this place, I have some hope that maybe we'll get, a decision in our favor. But again, without an advocate, I don't even know all the options that are available. So it feels like this uphill battle, without a very much chance at a positive income without an advocate. So again, we're just in a place that's incredibly grateful.
And you use the word fight, and fight we will until there's no fight left. So and I got to tell you, Scott, it's such a pleasure to work with you and your wife and your daughter. And that gives it a little extra meaning, and just great people. And whether you were a $15 an hour worker, or whether you're a very esteemed musical artist, it doesn't matter. You're great people, and nobody deserves this. So we're gonna fight this until there's just no fight left.
No, I
And
appreciate it.
I
And
appreciate you, and it's so important, I think, for these people to hear what the impact that they can have is, because I think, just you and I've had this conversation several times, where you do what you do, and it may seem different to you, just but I think in our line of work, we can get a little desensitized, and it's just a job, this, that, the other thing. But we've had some pretty good outcomes just in your little circle, and that is so meaningful. That is so meaningful to us, and I am bound and determined to have add another win to the win column here. So just really appreciate you, your family, and as I said to the for the folks here on the presentation, there's real people on the other end of that bill. And as I said, Scott is probably the exception and not the norm. Some other family may have just had to withdraw their daughter without finishing the full treatment regimen. So really, really important work that can be done here. And you get to meet some great people. I'm not saying everyone's going to run into a little enclave of musicians and stuff like that, but I think across the board you're going to find some people who are very, very grateful for your knowledge, your skills, your experience, and your abilities. So,
well, I
anything
know
else?
that's true. I know that's true of our case. That again, I think of, irregardless of what the outcome is, and I appreciate you very much, Doug. I know you're going to fight, but irregardless of the outcome, we will do our part to share the news. To go, there are advocates like yourself and others who are out there that there is an option, that there are things that can be done, and that sometimes either mistakes get made or a decision gets made that may not be the right one or in the best interest of even all parties. So
and it's funny.
So yeah,
it's
like
funny.
I said,
I don't know if you know how the original your partner, collaborator, whatever. His wife, actually, somebody mentioned me on Reddit. is how
wow.
is how that ball got rolling. So
Well, we'll keep paying it forward.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you, Scott, and we're going to keep fighting, and And who knows, maybe some of these folks will be apprentices or whatever and jump in on the fight. We can gang tackle them, gang tackle the insurance company. So but we're gonna get it done. Larry the Cable Guy, get her done. So really appreciate you stopping by. And it's one thing to have a completed case study, but a very unique situation to be able to have somebody midstream to come and speak to what is actually going on. And we're gonna fight, and we're gonna fight hard. We're not gonna take no for an answer. So
Love it. We'll very much appreciate it. Thanks for allowing me to share a little bit, and wish you guys all the best.
thank you, sir. And you're certainly welcome to stay on, or depart, whatever you want. But I'll be in touch with you tomorrow, because I'm going to reach out to that other person, and so I'll be in touch with you tomorrow regardless. Okay.
Sounds great. Thanks again.
Well, thank you, sir. So, folks, why are medical bills so confusing, as Scott said? Okay. And this is probably, old hat for you. Okay. Well, one thing we know is, well, is it a hospital bill? Is it a doctor's office bill? Is it a lab bill, rehab bill? What, physical therapy? What is it? And that will have, certainly between facilities and professional, that'll be a significant factor. Okay. The documentation is obviously where it all starts. And the claim form, 1500 form to a UBO form, which patients rarely see, which I'll talk about in a minute. And this is something that's really important for because we know this. Okay. We know that source documentation, ends up on the bill, the 1500 form, the diagnosis codes, the ICD-10 codes, right? And then the procedure codes of CPT and HCPCS. The common patient doesn't even know that these exist, doesn't even have access. They could get access to ICD-10 online, but as you know, CPT is copyrighted. So they really need somebody with not only access, but proficiency and understanding and competency in using these. And so then we have the bill who's submitted to the insurance carrier, right? And so it may not necessarily be a billing error. It could be a payment error. It could be a processing error on the part of the payer. Now, in this case, it wasn't a processing error. It was a utilization, authorization issue. But again, these are things that that we in the business understand, and are equipped to deal with, that the average patient just isn't. It's literally Greek to them. Okay. So the bill has been submitted, and then they get the explanation of benefits. And this is where the puzzle really gets laid out on the table, because most people are confused by the explanation of benefits. And one reason is, this is what the patient gets. Okay. They get a statement, an invoice. It's not a 1500 form. We'll just assume a professional fee here. But it might say office visit, it might say EKG, it might say lab. It doesn't have, rarely will it have the actual CPT descriptor. Even more rarely will it have the CPT code. Okay. Nor will the EOB quite often. So how is a patient supposed to get this piece of paper and make sense of the source document, the medical notes, the 1500 or UB? Okay. And these are things that we work with on a daily basis, and we understand them. and we can look at a bill and solve the puzzle. Then, of course, there's regulatory, and now this is, this is the Medicare internet-only manuals, but it doesn't matter. Payers have their guidelines, their payer requirements, their coverage requirements, etc. So these are all the elements that create this this scrambled egg that patients simply aren't equipped to deal with, and we are. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Here's, just the diabetes, not even the full diabetes section from ICD-10, just to illustrate the normal average patient wouldn't even know how to start making sense of this. And this is just the diagnosis codes. Obviously, for reimbursement, CPT codes would be an even greater issue. And I can't even put it on here, put CPT codes on here because, they're copyrighted. But the average patient just doesn't have the information available to them, doesn't have the understanding of the information. Office visits, you got new and established, right? You've got 5 levels. Now let's take a patient who doesn't have insurance and the provider, bills a level 4 when it was a level 3 or a level 2. That could be, a case where they are having to pay more than they should. Okay. And so this is where what is often, just a day in a day's work for us can make the heads spin of patients. And when it's significant amounts of money, and you've seen 2 today, and this is, not uncommon to have $500, $1,000, $10,000, $20,000 bills. So you might be saying to yourself, well, how am I going to make money? Well, I'll tell you what, believe me, somebody who has to pay a $10,000 or $20,000 bill, or is being billed $10,000 or $20,000, they're going to be happy to pay you. Okay. And then here's another scenario. Patients don't know. You saw that one item was double billed. Okay. And patients don't know if a procedure is bundled or an E&M is bundled in with it or not. Just the whole process is not something that the average ordinary patient can negotiate or navigate. Okay. So for an accurate bill review, of course, we need the insurance ID, we need the visit record, the claim form used, the insurance EOB, the patient bill, and the plan benefit summary. Okay. And of course, the patient will rarely have the visit record or the claim form. Okay. They should have access to all the others. They should have access to the visit record as well. If many providers now have patient portals where they could access their records. But so this is what is needed for an accurate bill review. And so patients wouldn't even know this. So this is a valuable resource to educate patients on, to collect these items, because they can't possibly make sense of a bill without all the elements of the bill, right? So let's talk about the opportunity here for you to be that guardian angel that I was mentioning earlier on, okay? And I want you to think about, you're currently earning a paycheck, and I want to start by saying I am in no way trying to talk you out of your current work. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that you can start this in your spare time, an hour or 2 a week, and I'll show you. I'll explain how And but I want to explain, your hourly wage times your hours worked is your income, right? So if you make $30 an hour and you work 40 hours a week, that's $1,200, right? $1,200 a week. So you're selling your time. Back here, you're selling your time. Okay. If you sell your skills and your knowledge for $20, okay, to make $1,200, you would need to collect 60 $20 payments. Okay. And that could be for access to tools and resources. So you wouldn't even need this would not be labor intensive. This would be setting up your process for essentially self-service, where the person receives access to tools and resources such as payer guidelines, appeal letters, dispute letters, email support for questions. Okay. And so, and trust me, I'm doing this, and I have plenty of time left in my week. Okay. And so you have 20 people who, I'm sorry, you have 60 people who sign up for $20 and get access to self-service resources and education. And they get one free bill review. Okay. Now, if their situation, like Scott's, is more complex, now you have the ability to make additional money when additional resources, time and resources, are demanded of you, such as an appeal letter, or a dispute letter, or additional bill reviews beyond the one included for a annual $20 fee. Okay, phone calls, etc. So we teach this in our course. Okay. I want to throw this out there, and this is simply for example's sake, but it's very realistic, and I say it's very realistic based on my experience doing this. Okay. If you set a goal, I want to make $150,000. If you just had people register and get their free review, etc., for $20, you would need to get 7,500. Okay. Now, if you want to make 75,000, it would be 3,750. Okay. So 7,500 customers would be 150 in each state. Remember, folks, there are tens of millions of people out there like Scott and his family, and they need you. They need us. Okay. And with tens of millions out there, I can't possibly help them all. And that's why I really want to show you a way where you can certainly have a better lifestyle and really make a genuine impact in the lives of other people with that happy client. Okay. And so our medical bill reviewer program shows you everything you need. Okay. Common billing and payment errors, resolution strategies to resolve these, bill negotiation tactics and strategies, tools and resources, both for you and to be able to provide to your customers. And again, these are self-serve. A lot of these are self-serve, on demand, no hands-on from you once you set them up. We teach you how to support your clients, and we support you in doing that. We teach you how to set this up, which is quite a simple process to set this up. We teach you time management. So, again, if you want to start it, or you never want to do more than 2 hours, we show you how to do what you can do in 2 hours a week. And the contingency of if you have too much work, how you can direct that either to us or to other bill reviewers or advocates. Okay, so you always have a safety net. Marketing and promoting your review services. And as you can see from the progression here, word of mouth is certainly a very powerful source, but there's many ways, social media, etc. Testimonials and reviews, pricing and added revenue, just as I just illustrated. Okay. Let me give you an example. Here on the left is an assisted living facility. There's 35,000 of these in the United States, if not more. And an assisted living facility will generally have 100 to 200 residents. Okay. So if you partner with just a few assisted living facilities, you could be just in the stratosphere. Partner with employers. There's many businesses who are small businesses that are not able to offer health insurance, and a relationship with employers that, whether they offer health insurance or not, this is a low investment opportunity for them to provide a benefit to their employees and high value to the employees. And of course, on the bottom right here, this is that word of mouth. Okay. And somehow some post on Reddit somehow made me the bill reviewer to the music industry. And maybe that's not always going to happen, but it's about, it takes one relationship to blossom into many relationships. And the more relationships you have, the better you can do for your clients and for yourself. This is, it's an image, but a screen print of my website, Patient Guards. Okay, and again, very simple to set up. And chat support is one way that you can, if for that $20 people can come and ask questions, they can do it via chat, they can do it via email, and it's really low maintenance. So I want to talk to you a little bit about we are offering the medical bill reviewer program so that we can make you, as Scott said, a rock star. And we'll talk about that more in a moment. Does anybody have any questions? And I think I have everybody muted, so let me see if I can unmute everybody. Okay, so I've made it so that if anybody has a question, you may unmute yourself and ask. And so does anybody have any questions about what we've covered, the process, the opportunity, the value to people, which I believe having Scott here today was quite powerful. Any questions? Nobody? I'm going to give it a minute just in case anybody's fumbling for the mute button to find their mute button. But I encourage you to ask any questions that you may have. Let me see if there's anything in chat. Nothing in chat. You can speak, or you could type your question in the chat. you're going to receive a follow-up email. So if you do have any questions, you can communicate them in one of any number of ways. You can visit our site and open a chat. You can email. You can I'll put a number where you can text or call if you have any questions. So before I close up here, just one last call for any questions. And for those on the live session here, I'd like you to stay on for just a moment. I'd like to tell you one more thing about the medical bill review program that is kind of time sensitive. And since I'm recording this, I want to finish the recording. This is an opportunity for you to work independently. Okay, so the email, all of the if you're here, all the information that we provided said that this is not an employment offer. This is an opportunity for you, not even 1099. This is, we show you how to set your own medical bill reviewer program up. So it's not, it's not even a contractual relationship. It is, you are able to do this 1 hour, 2 hours a week. You set your hours, you set your rates, everything. Oh no! Please, no! I'm glad you. Oh, I'm glad you typed that. The person said I didn't know the time had changed, and so we have a registrant. We have somebody in attendance here who is a member of AAOMCP, and thankfully she had texted me or called me, and asked about the time. I had inadvertently set the wrong time, so luckily she noticed that in enough time that a email went out to correct the time. So for anybody on the live webinar, I do apologize for that, and I'm glad that you were able to make it. Obviously you must have seen and for the person who just typed that, sorry if you were late because of that. That was my gaffe. I just I think because I'm Pacific time, and I think I set it for 7 o'clock Pacific time when it was really 7 o'clock Eastern time. So so I apologize for that. But no. So but to answer your question, is it a business opportunity? Yeah, it's an opportunity for you to be in business for yourself. One other thing, I mentioned, in a job, you're selling your time, right? You're selling your time for money. But the other thing is think about if you were to get a $2 an hour raise. Okay, what would that be? $80 a week before taxes. And think about 5 years from now. If you got a $2 an hour raise every year for 5 years, in 5 years, you're gonna be making $10 more an hour. In 10 years, you'd be making $20 more an hour. And let me tell you, that is a low single digit % chance of that happening. Companies can't sustain $20 an hour raises over 10 years across their payroll. Okay, so this is an opportunity where you can, again, I hope the beginning of this resonates with you. You can really make a very positive, important, meaningful impact in people's lives with your skills, your knowledge, and your experience that they will never have. And we're batting 1,000 with Scott's little circle of people, and I hope to keep that batting average at 1,000 with Scott's situation. But it is really gratifying. It is really gratifying to help these people, when they're facing a monstrous medical bill that is not accurate. And again, you have the opportunity to do this as, if you want to do it in 2 hours, do it 2 hours a week. You have the opportunity to really help a lot of people. in 2 hours a week, I can't make promises, but in 2 hours a week, you can probably make more than you make in 40 hours a week. Okay. And if it's then you may have a decision to make, but the program shows you, exactly how to set it up, exactly, you know, we don't tell you how to price it. We show you how you can price it. And if it makes sense, you do it that way. But once you have that knowledge, if you care to tweak it, you can tweak it to your satisfaction. But um, it is a very noble way to earn, whether you want to add some income to your to your um, to your income, or whether you want to have a significant lifestyle change. If you had if you and I got to tell you this. Remember, I showed you the example of 7,500 clients. Okay. And you might say to yourself, well, I could never, I mean, 75, I could never handle. I'll tell you what, I've got more than 7,500 customers in my AAOMCP business, and I do the customer service myself. And trust me, it is not anywhere near what you may imagine it to be. Okay. And we cover all that in the in the program. um if I'm still working on Scott's bill, you may have the opportunity to participate in a live case. I can't do that with every single client, because it's just, I have a special relationship here, where I was able to ask and be granted that. For those on the live session, don't leave just yet. Give me another minute. But for those who are watching the recording, I'm going to conclude the recording now, and ask you to watch for an email, or check the link at wherever you're watching this, whether it's on YouTube or in the learning system. And I'm looking forward to helping as many people who want to help others and be compensated well for it. I'm looking forward to working with you. So the folks on the live webinar, give me one more second here.